After Wednesday evening's Premier League results, Spurs are just 1 point above the relegation zone and face Crystal Palace on Thursday. Igor Tudor has come out and said, I hope we have the players to step up and take responsibility to put in good performances and win points. Jamie O'Hara has come out and said that Tottenham is a farce. If Spurs lose to Crystal Palace on Thursday, then Igor Tudor should be sacked. And Dele Alli has been seen training at Hotspur Way as he is still looking to find a new club. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going for all of the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit the follow button and leave a review if you can. Now let's start by talking about Wednesday night's Premier League results. 5 games took place. Results are as follows. Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 4, Brighton 0, Arsenal 1, Fulham 0, West Ham United 1, Manchester City 2, Nottingham Forest 2, and finally Newcastle United 2, Manchester United 1. Now, Tottenham Hotspur remain 16th in the Premier League table, 29 points from 28 games. Forest are now 1 point behind Spurs in 17th. They have 28 points. And also West Ham United have 28 points. They are in the relegation zone, sat in 18th. So Spurs are just 1 point above the relegation zone going into the game against Crystal Palace at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 8 p.m. kickoff on Thursday. Now, in the pre-match press conference ahead of the Crystal Palace game on Thursday, Igor Tudor has been talking about Tottenham's current situation. He said everyone understands the situation. There is something wrong if you don't understand the situation. My job is to put the pressure away, but their job is to accept the pressure that there is. So the pressure is everywhere, but you don't need to love this job. There's real pressure out there. People need to make money for their families and working in jobs like doctors who are doing operations and they decide about life and death. So that's the real pressure. You don't need to be ready to accept this and stand up, but you can do this. Don't stay behind. Take responsibility. Have the courage to confront these things. This is the best way to do it. The only way to do it. I hope we have, and I'm sure because I saw in training that we have the players to step up, take responsibility and make us start putting in, first of all, good performances and after also winning points. Now, Igor Tudor with the team news ahead of the Crystal Palace game on Thursday. He has confirmed that Jed Spence has been ruled out of this match in the Premier League, but he will hopefully be back for the trip to Atletico Madrid on Tuesday in the Champions League last 16 first leg. Former Spurs midfielder Jamie O'Hara has been talking on Sky Sports about Tottenham's current situation and boss Igor Tudor. He said, I haven't seen any evidence that Spurs have got any better under Tudor. They have got Crystal Palace at home on Thursday. If they lose that game, I can see them getting rid of him. He has come in all guns blazing. You've been here 5 minutes. What you don't need right now is a manager coming in and digging everyone out. O'Hara then went on to say, you need someone coming in to breed some confidence and get some life out of these players. You've come in to get results. At the moment, all you're doing is doing these interviews. It is a risky business. I'd get rid of him if he loses to Crystal Palace. He is an interim manager and he has lost the first 3 games. It's a farce, but Tottenham is a farce. Now, it's been widely reported today that Tottenham Hotspur has become the first English football club to add audio descriptions to its murals. The artworks of Heung-min Son, Harry Kane and Ledley King outside the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium now include audio descriptions for visually impaired fans. People can now scan a QR code to hear about the murals. It's part of a collaboration with visual impairment charity, the David Katz Foundation. Now, on Wednesday, various videos were released on Instagram showing that Dele Alli is currently training at Hotspur Way as he is looking to sharpen up his fitness as he is still looking for a new club. Now, the Spurs under-18s were in action on Wednesday afternoon. It was semi-final heartbreak for them as they lost 1-0 at Hotspur Way against Crystal Palace in the Premier League Cup. Also on Wednesday, the Spurs women's under-19s beat Charlton Athletic under-21s 2-1 in the Pro Game Academy League. Now, there have been 2 fixture changes for April, 2 Premier League games. Sunderland away will now kick off on Sunday, the 12th of April at 2 p.m. and Brighton at home will now kick off on Saturday, the 18th of April, kick off 5:30, and both of these games will be live on Sky Sports. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode. After Wednesday's results, Spurs are just 1 point above the relegation zone. Bloody hell. We are in shit street right now. I can tell you that. And this is an absolute must-win game on Thursday evening at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Crystal Palace. I know that Igor Tudor come out with those words saying that, no game is a must-win game. This is certainly a must-win game. This is a hugely important game for the future of our football club. We are just 1 point away. Now, what really worries me at the moment is the lack of fight and the lack of desire. But we must get behind these players. These players can't take a slating at the moment. We need to give them the support that they need on Thursday. I know, and I do expect a lot of seats to be empty on Thursday. I know a lot of people that have had enough and they don't go to games anymore. But I tell you what, whoever is in that stadium on Thursday, we need to give them the support to try and be that 12th man to try and get us over the line. We have to win ugly. Whatever way we have to do, whatever we need to do in that game, we have got to do it because, at the moment, in the calendar year of 2026, Spurs have only picked up 4 points in the Premier League. Now, these stats are quite staggering that I'm going to read out to you. Leeds have picked up 11. Nottingham Forest have picked up 10, West Ham United have picked up 14, and Wolves, bottom of the table Wolves, dead and buried, have picked up 13 in the calendar year of 2026. All of these teams at the moment are showing fight, they are showing desire, and, they are giving absolutely everything right now. And Spurs are the only team down there at the moment where we are really, really lacking. And though, those stats say a million words. 4 points in the calendar year of 2026. Spurs, we have to give absolutely everything. These players need to give absolutely everything on Thursday evening and, do whatever they can to win, to pull us away from that relegation zone because we face Liverpool next week. That is our next Premier League game. And then after that, we face Nottingham Forest, who are down there, in amongst it, and they are showing real fight and desire right now, having drawn 2-2 away at Manchester City. Incredible. And after that, we've got Sunderland away, Brighton at home, Wolves at home, Aston Villa away, Leeds at home, Chelsea away, and then Everton at home. What is an easy game? Where are the points coming from? I tell you what, Spurs need to give absolutely everything on Thursday evening, and I'm sure that the fans will play their part as well. But, these 2 games under Igor Tudor, and I'll come on to talk about Jamie O'Hara's comments, these 2 games under Igor Tudor have not been good enough. And, that Fulham away game, 1 shot on target. This is not good enough. It must be a lot better. Some of these players just really do need to step up. Jamie O'Hara is saying that Tottenham is a farce and, if Spurs lose to Crystal Palace, then Igor Tudor should be sacked. I tell you what, we should not be in this position. We have got 10 games left, and what I'd say at the moment is that we do need to remain a little bit more calmer. The fan base is going absolutely crazy right now. And I do get it because when you look at that league table, you're thinking, wow. And you're thinking, we're 1 point and, the lack of fight and the lack of points that we have picked up in 2026 is clearly not good enough. But should Igor Tudor be sacked? Spurs brought him in to be the firefighter, to be, the rescue king. This is what he was dubbed when he come through the door. In my opinion, Thomas Frank should have gone, a good while ago. You know, they left it too late, in my opinion. After that West Ham game, that should have been the last game. That should have been the final straw. They dragged it on, they let it go on, and they didn't make a decision until after the Newcastle game. And, you know, Igor Tudor surely must have known what he was walking into. He must have known what he was walking into. There's no point. And I agree with a lot of what Jamie O'Hara said in regards to, you know, he should be trying to get the best out of these players, not just slating them. All I'm seeing at the moment is all of these players being slated. It is frustrating, the position that we're in. However, you know, when you keep slating people, are you going to get the best from them? You know, I've no doubt that he has slated them and said things to their faces, but does it need to be public? Does he need to say a lot of these things publicly? He did remind me a lot of Antonio Conte in the way that he acted and the way that he said things in that press conference. And so early on, he's only been here a couple of weeks, and the things that he is saying, you know, puts a lot of worry into a lot of us Tottenham fans, you know, going forward. So, you know, that's all I'm going to say on it, because these players just need to give absolutely everything on Thursday, and a draw is not enough. We need to win against Crystal Palace on Thursday. And like I said, you know, like I read those fixtures out, Liverpool away next after that. You know, that's a very, very difficult game for us. We never, ever seem to get a decent result at Liverpool, even though the season they are having, and even though that, you know, recently they lost 2-1 away at Wolves. You know, we know that Liverpool away is always very, very difficult. You know, Spurs could be in the bottom three, you know, next week. So, you know, there is a lot to do. So, you know, an absolute must win for me on Thursday. But, you know, I'm going to certainly get behind the team on Thursday. And I really, really do hope and pray that they deliver. Now, Dele Alli training at Hotspur Way, great scenes. You know, I really do hope that Dele Alli finds a new club very soon. But how heartwarming that Spurs have given him the opportunity to, you know, train at Hotspur Way, sharpen up his fitness, and hopefully we will see Dele Alli play for a club in the very, very near future. Thanks for watching, and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment below. And if you're listening to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you on the next one. Come on, you Spurs.